The subject theory of machines may be defined as that branch of engineering science which deals with the study of relative motion between the various parts of a machine and the forces which act upon them. The knowledge of this subject is very much essential for an engineer in designing the various parts of a machinery. In this section, we will deal with certain important questions pertaining to theory of machines. As such, what is a gear ratio? What is universal coupling? What are the advantages of a gear drive? What is herringbone gear? What are the different types of springs? And many more. What is gear ratio? The gear ratio is the ratio of the number of teeth in the gear to the number of teeth in the pinion. The pinion being the smaller of the two gears in mesh. The answer to this question would be, the gear ratio is the ratio of the number of teeth in the gear to the number of teeth in the pinion. The pinion being the smaller of the two gears in the mesh. What do you mean by cotter joint? A cotter joint, also known as a socket and spigot joint, is a method of temporarily joining two coaxial rods. One rod is fitted with a spigot, which fits inside a socket on one end of the other rod. Cotter joints are used to support axial loads between the two rods. This load can be tensile or compressive. The answer to this question would be, these type of joints are used to connect two rods which are under compressive or tensile stress. The ends of the rods are in the manner of a socket and shaft that fit together, and the cotter is driven into a slot that is common to both pieces, drawing them tightly together. The tensile strength of the steel is proportionate to the strength needed to offset the stress on the material, divided by the number of joints employed. This joint is made of steel or iron. Cotter joint is used for connecting a piston rod to the crosshead of the reciprocating steam engine. What is the difference between a projectile motion and a rocket motion? In mechanics point of view, projectile don't have a particular shape. It is a point mass, whereas a rocket has a particular shape, and hence it has center of gravity situated at a particular point on its body. Therefore, rocket motion comes under kinetics, whereas projectile motion comes under kinematics. The answer to this question would be, a projectile has no motor attached to it, so all of its momentum is given to it as it is launched. An example of a projectile motion would be a pin that you throw across a room. A rocket or missile, on the other hand, does have a motor attached to it, so it can accelerate itself while moving and also resist other forces such as gravity. What is A universal coupling. A universal joint is a joint or coupling connecting rigid rods whose axes are inclined to each other and is commonly used in shafts that transmit rotary motion. It consists of a pair of hinges located close together, oriented at 90 degrees to each other, connected by a cross shaft. The answer to this question would be universal coupling is used to connect two shafts whose axes are inclined to each other. It consists of a pair of hinges connected by a cross shaft. What are the advantages of gear drive? Gear drives are packaged units used for a wide range of power transmission. These drives are used to provide a variable output speed for a constant speed power source, or to provide torque increase for a variable speed power source. The answer to this question would be a gear drive is a positive drive and hence velocity remains constant. Provisions for changing velocity ratios can be made with the help of gearbox. Their efficiency is very high. They can be used even for slow speeds, transmit high torque values. They are compact in construction and durable as compared to other such belt chain drives. What is engine governor? A governor or speed limiter or controller is a device used to measure and regulate the speed of a machine, such as an engine. The answer to this question would be a governor is a device attached in the engine to control the speed. It is actually a speed limiter. It can measure the speed and can regulate it. What is gear module? Module is the unit of size that indicates how big or small a gear is. It is the ratio of the reference diameter of the gear divided by the number of teeth. The ratio of pitch circle diameter to the number of teeth in gears is known as gear module. It is generally denoted as small m. The mathematical formula for gear module is m is equal to d by t. For two gears to be meshed, their module must be equal. What is a herringbone gear? A herringbone gear is a specific type of double helical gear. It is a special type of gear that is a side-to-side combination of two helical gears of opposite hands. From the top, each helical groove of this gear looks like the letter V, and many altogether forms a herringbone pattern. So the answer to this question would be herringbone is a pattern which resembles fish bone structure. Herringbone gear is a type of gear which consists of two helical gears of opposite hand side. These are assembled side by side rather than face to face. As a result, a fishbone structure is developed, which is known as the herringbone gear. The gear creates a V-shaped pattern. What are the benefits of cycloidal gears? Since the rotation of the driven shaft is not uniform, cycloidal gears are used to transmit slow rotations. Moreover, their teeth are much stronger than the one of involute gears, since their flanks are not radial. Another advantage of these gears is that they have less sliding action. The answer to this question would be it has a wider and high power flank as compared to involute gears. The contact of cycloidal gears is between the concave surface and the convex flank. This reduces the wear and tear of the engine, and there are no chances of interference occurring in cycloidal gears. Differentiate between gear hobbing and gear shaping. Generally, the productivity of gear hobbing is higher than that of gear shaping. Only when the gear with a small module, large number of teeth and small tooth width is machined, gear shaping has the ability to compete with gear hobbing. The answer to this question would be gear hobbing is a continuous indexing process in which both cutting tool, that is a hob, and workpiece rotate in a constant relationship while the job is being fed into work. Hob is also imparted a radial feed. Gear shaping, on the other hand, uses a pinion type of cutter, which is reciprocated with required cutting speed along the face of workpiece and is gradually fed radially to plunge. Continuous generation motion is obtained by feeding cutter to full depth and rotating the cutter and workpiece slowly. What are the different types of springs? The different types of springs are helical, conical, torsion, leaf, disc, and SPS or special purpose springs.